Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be deer hunters. Teach them to play golf and play on the computer. They'll be happier, but a little more screwed up. Golf and video games never did anyone any good whatsoever. You'd be way better off being a confused, dazed, delirious, irrational rut whitetail hunter. We did just get access to a new piece of property that we're gonna hunt this afternoon though. Half mile from here. The chance of this big deer being there is low, but maybe we'll get in on a different group of bucks, you know. So I think we'll give Jody a rest.
The whitetail rut.
Let's roll.
For us, it's the big event.
That time where it all comes together, or it doesn't.
From dawn until dusk, through the highs and the lows.
All of it for a brief opportunity to cross paths with America's most pursued big game animal.
For 4 hunters in 4 different states, there's a little bit of chance and a hell of a lot of work.
That is a giant.
But it's all worth it for that 1 week in November.
It's day 4, November 4, and we are now in Wyoming. What's going to be very different about this hunt is we are going to be hunting around a lot of agriculture. And according to Onyx's crop data layer from 2020, there is some corn in the area. Now, it was very dry this summer, which made me confident that all that corn would be harvested by now. But over the last month, there's been quite a bit of moisture that makes me think that some might be standing yet. I'm thinking like 70% chance that it's cut, which would be in our favor, 30% chance that it's still standing. But we'll see what we find when the sun comes up. So here's what I'm talking about, where there's definitely going to be corn. That also happens to be one of the favorite spots for deer to travel. So that's why I'm nervous if that's standing corn. That's going to totally change our next 4 days of hunting. According to Onyx, it was corn last year. I'm confident that that's accurate, but what Onyx can't tell me is if it's been cut yet or not. Dogs. God dang it. You gotta be kidding me. Well, that sucked. 2 dogs came running in off the field. Ran right into like this bedding cover. Ran a bunch of deer out of there. Not good. Well, I wish I had better news to report, but it's been another slow set. Just a few does and a dink, bunch of dogs and a coyote. It's wild how you can be sitting like we were in morning number 1, flying high, thinking that we're gonna get this show of all shows out here. And then, 2 days later, it's like, whew, are we gonna see anything? It's been pretty dead. So, what's funny is I know this is the name of the game. I've been through this a million times. The rut is almost always these moments of excitement that are just occasionally dropped into these much longer stretches of monotony where you think that it's never going to happen. But then all of a sudden, the switch flips and it happens.
watching and spook some does out. So that sucks for him. There's so many things that can go wrong on any given hunt. I've been sitting here fantasizing about getting some scientists on board with genetically engineering deer so they gobble or bugle or something, so we can keep track of them, because it's been boring in here. And then just out of nowhere, this little guy show up, cruising through just like they're supposed to, came right down through one of these crossings. Little busted up buck, but enough to keep you going.
Last year, this field didn't have any livestock in it. Now, there's like a dozen horses. Not only are there horses here, but they sure are interested in us. I think right now they're just kind of confused about what we are. It's still 20 minutes, still shooting light, so I'm gonna stand up, see if I can push them away. Who knows? Maybe that was stupid. Maybe now if there's any deer in the area, it'd be like, oh, they're getting spooked because of a coyote or something. We'll see.
I have yet to get a picture of the big deer in this area since October 30th, so it's been about four days since I've got a picture of him. So we're just gonna play the long game. Planning to sit all day. We'll see how it goes. It's 12 o'clock. Haven't seen a deer in a couple hours. Had 2 small bucks, a doe and 2 yearlings come through the saddle this morning. That's all. Yeah, kind of a slow morning, man. I'm gonna get down, go move a camera, and then make a decision about what we're gonna do this afternoon. I'm uncertain of what exactly we're gonna do, but I'll get it figured out.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be deer hunters.
We need to write a song. Mamas don't let your spoof. Mamas don't let your babies grow up to be deer hunters. But then, as I write the song, I realize exactly what Willie Nelson was trying to say was that you should let your kids grow up to be cowboys. So you kids should grow up to be deer hunters. It's a complicated world, folks.
Sounds like everybody's kind of in this zombie mode that the rut puts you in, where your days are really long. You spend a lot of time thinking about what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. I kind of feel like I'm there now. I need to change of pace and see something different. Gonna make a move today. I'm looking at a spot on this property. I got a stand on this pond, tucked into the timber here, and access from the road and through this little quarry. and up in there. So all of this has been left alone, pretty much. And it's gonna get warmer and warmer by the day, so I think that's gonna be the ticket. Hey, Mark.
Hey. Listen, sorry to interrupt your hunt. I legitimately need some input here. Let me give you this story, okay?
Yeah.
We've hunted this buck I've called Jody for 3 days. I feel like he's not here right now. Now I think he'll come back, but I don't know when. I've got a place lined up in southeast Oklahoma that I've never been to. They kill real nice deer there. I would have 3 full days to hunt there if I left now. The area is known for big bucks, like way better than here. So anyway, my question is, what do I do?
I can tell you what my gut tells me. My gut tells me to go for the numbers. Go to Oklahoma, where there's more deer that might be worth shooting. Like you said, you could hunt that buck all season and maybe only have him roll through there once or twice, let alone get a chance in the next 3 days. I think Jody, he was a worthy adversary, but maybe he wins the day.
Well, hey, I do feel good about what we did. I mean, we hunted hard. It's not like we didn't try. We put some grind on him, but that's what I needed, Mark. That's what I want to do, is go to Oklahoma.
Here's the bad news, though. You know what's bad about having these cell phone cameras that we have these days? Is that you're going to drive to Oklahoma, and then tomorrow midday or something, that son of a gun is going to pop up on your cell phone camera. You know it, right?
I know. I know it. I know that's going to happen. That's part of the reason I'm going, is so that he'll show up right here. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing something stupid. I had to go to the guru. So
I think that's a solid choice. I don't feel like the guru though right now, buddy. I'm struggling out here.
Man, hey, we're halfway through the hunt right now. I mean, we got 3.5 days left of a 7-day hunt. So you got plenty of time, man. I mean, it'll change quick too.
That's the trick, is staying focused and positive, so you're ready when that moment arrives, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Well, good luck.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Hey, Clay.
Yeah.
The stash looks good.
You like that?
Keep me posted.
All right. All right. See you, Mark. Okay, the guru says we gotta go, so we're going. Headed to Oklahoma.
Alright, so the reason why I came to this property instead of the original one I was at is because there's just so many mature bucks showing up on camera here over the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, the point being is those bucks are on camera here. I know they're in the area. I've got a terrain feature that's gonna funnel them. Bucks have to pass through here to get from point A to point B. They must just be locked on does somewhere or hold up with does at some point. And they're gonna break off and move eventually. So, part of me has wanted to go like check out new places, see where, try to find the action. Another part of me says, believe in your pinch point, believe in why you're here, and wait, because eventually these bucks will get up and move in and come through. I've decided to stick with that one.
Last year when I was here, this field was like knee-high, nice green food. But now it's like hunting a golf course. I can see this whole thing. There's no more deer left out here. So I just want to move back a little ways. glass this pasture behind us. See if we can find some movement from up high here. So, the strategy for like these next 3 days is to kill a deer on my right and all these food options. There's a bunch of flat ag fields up here. On my left is where the deer are bedding during the day. This is like great habitat down here, but it's just like a tangly, swampy jungle. And this is what I was worried about. The standing corn in front of us. This is like the best spot on the property. This is where a lot of the deer want to funnel to coming out of the bed. And all that standing corn is going to hide a ton of movement and eliminate a lot of spots where I can make shots. So that's just the reality of a DIY hunt like this.
Kind of everything I thought I knew about this place, I kind of have to rethink, because the fields that are cut, I wish were still standing, and the fields that are still standing, I wish were cut. So it's going to change a lot about how I hunt these next couple of days.
It's almost 3 o'clock here. I'm settled into this pond stand. In addition to being one of the only water sources around here, I got a really good funnel behind me between this quarry and the pond. This pushes them right down. And then this whole valley at the top of it is kind of benchy and brushy. It's really good bedding cover. I know there's got to be some doe groups using this. And this is just like an amphitheater in here. Is one of the coolest places I've ever hunted. Stand. It's beautiful, and I'll just be shocked if I don't at least see some deer tonight, maybe some other critters. But either way, I'm gonna spend some time in here because it's only gonna get warmer the next few days, and this should get really good.
It's 5:15. That means we got just a touch over 1 hour left. Prime time. This feels like any second now, something's gonna pop out. Wouldn't it be nice if a big one just went walking across that hill right now? Well, zero deer tonight. Gonna head back to the hotel. Come up with a new game plan.
So I was disappointed this morning when the sun came up to find that one of the properties I can hunt still had standing corn, but now driving around to a different farm that I can hunt not too far away, found what I was looking for. This corn has been cut for a minute now. It looks like some of it was cut for silage, some of it was cut for the grain. But either way, this is what I want. A very, very obvious food source that those deer are going to be coming out of that swampy, thick jungle up to feed at. We don't have great weather to necessarily make them come here, but it's still November. The doe is going to be putting on the calories, and where the does are, the bucks are going to be. I think this is going to be our focus Definitely for tonight, but maybe for the rest of the week.
So we found the cornfield that I wanted, and that's why we're here. Corn is still king, even in a state like Wyoming. So if I were a doe, I'd want to be here. If I were a buck, I'd want to be here because the does want to be here. So, hope that happens.
In southeast Oklahoma, and we're gonna go to this property, and we've just got probably 30 minutes of daylight, and Alvin's gonna show us around. He's hunted this property his whole life, and so he really knows the ins and outs of it. And this is a pretty part of Oklahoma. I've never hunted here, but it's really good hunting. This is a Tacticam. That is a $130 camera. Yeah. And I pay like $10 a month or something, you know, when I'm using it. You know, everybody talks about fair chase these days. They're like, oh, dogs aren't fair chase. Baiting's not fair chase. I'll tell you what's not fair chase. Yeah, these. We'll get good coverage out here, won't we? I know about that. Oh, yeah. And we're gonna go in and hunt in the morning. Aside from us bombing in there in the middle of the night, shooting lanes and making a racket, I feel really good about this spot. Beautiful country, great whitetail country. He's got good history on this property of good deer, so we're gonna have a short night, but we'll be up there in the morning before daylight.